What is going on today, people? Today, we're going to talk about starting a marketing company to launch products. And we're going to start off with an overview of Nike, or what was the formerly known as the Blue Ribbon promotion company or something like that. We'll get into that. For those of you who are interested, below the video is the link to the webinars. Yes, webinars. It's not going to be one webinar. It'll be a webinar Friday. It'll be another webinar Sunday, and possibly a third. The information and the links below. If you got any questions, just put them in the comments. So let's get off into Nike. How many of you knew that Nike does not own any of the factories that its shoes are manufactured in? Just put yes and no in the comments. And how many of you know that Nike always was a promotion company first and a physical product company kind of sort of second? And what I mean by that is they started off with the Blue Ribbon Promotion Company in, I think, 1964 to 1971, and then they changed off to Nike. What they used to do was bring over ASICs. I don't have them on the pair. I don't have them on. But there was this shoe called Mexico 66. It was the ASICs. You know the kind of shoes that Bruce Lee wears. If you ever watched the Bruce Lee movie, those are the kind of shoes you would see, very thin sole, and they're really, really comfortable. Well, Nike started being a distributor, which means they created some type of deal with a plant in Japan. Nike has always been about marketing and promotion and licensing the contracts to the factories, which they do not own, to make the shoes that they promote. And what you want to think about this? Like anyone that has a pair of Nikes, just go ahead, if you take them off if you want to, and look and see where they're made. They're never made in the United States. None of them never been made in the United States. Mostly they've been made in Korea or Vietnam. Now, why is this important? And how does this help you? Well, you can do this on a smaller level. One of the things that I'm going to do in the webinar is talk about how to talk to companies. How you talk to companies is very, very important, because if you're just calling like Carl the other day, more than likely they're not going to deal with you. Also, you have to change your thinking. How does you buying product from this company help this company's bottom line? If you're going to buy one here or there, they're not really interested in that. I mean, like seriously, if you in your eBay store, your Amazon store, or your Shopify store, whatever store you have, and you have a customer who buys a product here and there, you're thankful, you're grateful, but that's not someone that you're going to bend over backwards for. That's not someone you're going to make special considerations for, which is what happens when a manufacturer takes a risk on you. And this is why, these companies are in business to make money. And you go up and it's like, hey, I want to sell your stuff, right? And they already know by the way that you talk to them, the way that you approach them, if this is going to be something in their best interest. This is going to be something that will be fruitful for them. It'll be something that'll make money, because if you as a manufacturer, you want minimum lots of maybe 50 of 100 or 1,000 units. Now, one of the things we're going to talk about is you can go counter around that, but you must go to another middleman, which is called distributor. And these distributors, they make millions. Essentially, the food chain used to be like this, and the food chain has been flattened out. Used to be manufacturer, distributor, company to buy, and then you, the end user, or the customer. So that was like 4 or 5 different layers of additional cost, because this is the system you need. Now that has been many manufacturers are going direct. They don't have a distributor. They don't have companies. So they're cutting out two of these middlemen to go straight to you, the end user. And that's really interesting. That's great for the company. That's awesome for the company. But for the middlemen, they no longer have a job. So what you have to do is fulfill that principle of selling their product to the end user as fast and profitably and as most efficient as possible to get their attention. This is why you need to have a marketing company. I'm going to tell you a project that I worked with a client that worked really, really well. The client wanted to sell this high-end brand. And then, she tried to get them to go in. She called them up, told them I'm a big fan. And she just got crickets, or it was like, well, we're really thankful for your business. We're great you're a fan, but no, we're not going to sell to you. I mean, just straight up, no. So she created a blog all about this product. And she talked about it. And she called them up and like, look, my blog, right? They still would not do anything for her. Then they came out with a new product line. She got it. She talked about it on her blog. And they saw that she had sent a lot of traffic their way, which resulted in a lot of sales. Then all of a sudden they started talking to her. They sent her new products. This is how you get put on, because I don't care how good your story is. I don't care how good your sad tale is, but unless you can impact their bottom line, they're not going to mess with you. So this is why you have to create a marketing company. And let's be really clear about this. This is a product marketing company. This is not a social media marketing company. Big difference, because many people who run these social media marketing companies, they post links on Facebook, they post stuff on YouTube, but it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't make any sales. It doesn't direct traffic to the company. It doesn't move products. So I'm not talking about that kind of social media branding. No. None of that woo-woo stuff. I'm talking about you're creating a vehicle, a digital vehicle, or a way to increase exposure, increase traffic, and thus convert to sales. That's what you got to do. Anyone else is telling you that you could just kind of slide into the DMs, because social media marketing, which is very, very powerful if you're positioned for it. And I'll give you an example. How many of you know that Will Smith just started a YouTube channel? Every video he just started up, and a video he put up the other day, it got like almost 1 million views in less than 12 hours. Now, why does that work, and why is social media so kind to Will Smith? Because he's already famous. The Rock, 100 million followers. He's already famous. The average NFL mid-level star, hundreds of thousands of followers, already famous. Now, there are some people who, and I'm just going to be really, really blunt with you. If you ain't handsome, and if you're not cute, it's going to be a challenge for you to really make it do what it do on social media. I'm just being honest. You got to have some unique selling proposition. You got to be quirky. You have a certain look. You got to do a certain thing. You got to do something, because if you don't have this natural resource of beauty, attractiveness, humor, wit, whatever, it's going to be really hard for you to really scale on social media. You can hack it. That works temporarily, but that's the thing. So how does one start a marketing company? Number one, you find something that you have a strong interest in. You are not going to be able to effectively market something that you just really don't care about, and you're just trying to make some money. You can market it to a degree and you can make some money, but it's just not going to be the same as you marketing something you care about. Now, this is my new YouTube channel, which I believe is going to be bigger than this channel, and it may be bigger than this channel this year. Digital Citizen. I'm very passionate about that. Yes, I know I used the P word. I just know it's going to work. And the other day I was talking to someone and I was saying what I did, and all of a sudden they were interested. Now, part of this thing of getting to be determined, getting to be very interested is you need to work in some areas, just like this client who got on with this big brand. And like, let's just be honest, because I know some of you is like, who's the client? What's the blog? Now, if you bought some of my consulting services and I told everyone your business, you wouldn't be really happy with me. The word would get out on the streets. Glendon don't tell your business. So no, so stop it. Don't even ask. But that's what it takes. It takes creativity. And for many of you, if you live in a large metropolitan area, you will be able to find businesses and products that you can create a marketing company for, get them business and get paid. Now, if you're out in the boondocks, right, and you think that you're screwed, hold on a second. Let me get into here. Let's see. Quilt Company, Missouri. I forget the name. Oh, that's not their property. Missouri. Okay. All right. So we will go in here, and I will show you this. And I don't know why this. Well. All right. So now she has become a YouTube star. She's out in Missouri. Started this years and years ago, right? And she created it. I'm gonna break this down for you. If I can get past, if you hadn't noticed, they've changed a lot of stuff on YouTube. A lot of stuff. Here we go. Want to go here? Okay. And she did this about 2009, same time I started. And she has 131 million views, right? Now, I know a lot of you are like, oh, he's talking about YouTube again. Oh, I wish he would stop talking about YouTube again. Well, what she has done is created a marketing company for her brand. I'm being silent because I want that to really sink in. This woman, by starting a YouTube channel and talking about what she knew how to do, created a marketing firm. The YouTube channel by itself is a separate business that marketed her quilts and her know-how to the point that she was able to employ a lot of people in this town. And I think she bought the building that the J.C. Penney's was in. Yes, because see, this is the thing, and I think a lot of people really kind of sleep on YouTube. YouTube is the marketing arm of Hustlers Kung Fu. I'm being silent because I want this to sink in, because many of you you want to start a YouTube channel or you want to start a blog or you want to do, but you want to be assured of success before you start. That's the wrong way to think about this. You need to think about this from a standpoint of you can make money at some point in the future. And this is why you need something that you need to be very determined about to carry you till you get to that point where things start taking off. There are so many unfulfilled niches on YouTube, it's not funny. There's so many, there's rooms for shows. There's just so much. It's wide open right now. But you got millennials breathing down your neck. It is estimated that 3 or 4 million new channels will be created between now and 2020. 3 and 4 million channels. And I've said this many times because I'm a YouTube kid. I'm big on YouTube. I believe in YouTube. And I think hands down that it is one of the best marketing pieces that you can have for your personal brand, for your physical product brand. You just got to get creative. Now, one of the things you have to do is figure out what these companies need and give it to them. You give them what they want, they will give you what you want. Many people seem to have this as a zero-sum game. Well, the only way I can win if they lose. That does not work for anyone. That doesn't thrill anyone. That doesn't really create the energy and the synthesis that you need to be successful. You've got to open it up. You have to put out that you really care about their brand. I'll give you an example of motion. I was either 14 or 15, I'm not sure. Probably 15 or 16. And it was the summer, and I needed a job. I wanted a job. And this is something else, too. If you're a millennial or something, how come a lot of you guys don't know how to find jobs? Because my mother didn't tell me how to find a job. I just knew that I'll just go ask for a job, right? So, hot Alabama summer day. It's about 85, 90 degrees. I'm used to it. We didn't have air conditioning in our house. So I'm walking up here and I find this business and I was like, oh, let me just go in there. Just cold calling. I go in, I talk to this lady. I don't even know her name. And I was like, hey, are you hiring? Do you have any jobs? Oh, no, honey, we don't have any jobs. Okay, thanks. Left. Well, the owner was driving to his factory at that time, and he saw me walking, and he's like, hey, who's the black kid? What does he want? And he's like, he wants a job. So he came back. He was driving either a Trans Am or a Corvette. I forget. I know it was one of those sport cars. And, back then, the Trans Am was the hit thing. I think it was a Trans Am, and it was black, and I think it had the Firebird on the hood. And so he picks me up. I am sweating all over the place, picks me up, takes me there, and gives me a job. And he says, anybody that's going to walk up here in this hot summer heat looking for a job is someone I want to hire. I essentially created my own opportunity. And I say that many of you are really, really looking at this game thing wrong, because you want to win, you want to make money, you want to be served first before you put out any effort. And I have been in a situation year after year that I've just tried stuff and everything doesn't work out. But most of it did. And that's what you're going to have to do when you start approaching these companies. You're going to have the right attitude. You're going to have the right verbiage. I'll make sure to give you the right words to say when you're speaking to these companies. Also, I'm going to tell you some things that you need before you contact these companies. There's a certain protocol. There's a certain way you have to talk to them, because the way that you approach these companies, if you don't say the right words, they will know that you are a work-at-home Willie. You working out of your spare bedroom. And there ain't nothing wrong with being a work-at-home Willie. There ain't nothing wrong with it. But this company is like, oh, that's work-at-home Willie. We don't want to deal with him. So you've got to hide that. You cannot sound like that. So you will have to make some investments. This is not something where you could just talk someone into some stuff. And there's a certain protocol, there's certain language, there's certain steps, there's certain things that you need to have before you even approach these companies. Just saying. Let's see. Now, one of the things that I feel that is really critical to your success is the proper mindset and a degree of humility. Once again, I'm talking to you millennials. A lot of you, like this clown that put on my videos, like, next time, make sure you get to the stuff on. He's talking to me like he's kind of crazy. Now, I will wonder if we were in physical proximity to each other and I'm like 6'1", 255, if he would have spoke to me like that. Because a lot of you are little keyboard warriors that talk all this smackety smack and junk because no one can touch you. Hey, how many of you have heard about the African warlord that was messing with people on Call of Duty because he was able to hack their system and say their real name, and they like freaked out. That was funny. That was really, really funny. So another thing that you should have before you contact these companies is proper legal structure. Now, many companies take credit cards, so they won't know if you don't have an LLC. But some companies, they're going to invoice you. And if you have a residential address, that's going to be the first and last invoice you get. And there is address software where everyone knows where all the UPS stores are. This worked for years, and that's a whole nother video, so I'm not going to get into that. But these are things that you will need. Now, fortunately, these things are not super expensive. They're not, daunting, but you're going to need this if you're going to do business in a professional, insane manner with these companies. And then you're going to have to talk about a few things. All right, let's see. Where are we? Cool. Let's see what's in here. I'm doing things a little differently. If you haven't noticed, it's a lot of changes that are going on. So I think that's all I have. And if you want to be part of the webinar, the links below where I'll teach you how to talk to companies, teach you what you need to have before you talk to companies, teach you the exact words to say when you're talking to these companies. And then that's going to be marketing's going to be tomorrow, and Sunday is going to be let me get off into my my skilo, because I just put this together. Because it's going to be at Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills. If you can't make it, it will be recorded. And these will be webinars. It will not be live streams or stuff like this. This will be like I used to do. I'm going back all the way to the old school method. All right. I'm just going to have to. They've just changed all this other stuff, but there's a webinar tomorrow, 3 p.m., and there's another webinar Sunday, because it's just too much to try to do all this in one webinar, and there might be a third webinar. So one's going to focus on the marketing aspect, and another one's going to focus on talking to the companies. Because here's the thing. You go ahead, you talk to these companies, right? But you don't have a marketing plan. How are you going to sell this stuff? So getting it is cool. There was someone here who had some kind of weird beard thing, and he got like 37 of them real cheap, and he's been sitting on them for 6 to 7 months. Now, here's something else too. You know your inventory has an expiration date? It does. The longer you hold on to it, unless it's an antique or vintage car, the more likely that you will have to sell it for a smaller or lesser price than you intended. So the longer you hold on to it, the price is just going to keep going down and down. Give you a good example. There's this television that I'm going to get after I move. I'm not getting it now because I know I'm moving. And it currently is $2,500. Well, there will be a television 6 months down the road that will be the same size or bigger, better, and cheaper. That's what's happening to your inventory, unless you're just in selling static items or like pianos or something like that. How many of you have sold big stuff online, and I will quantify this with over $1,000, and did it repeatedly, selling products over $1,000? Just curious about that. All right, because I'm going to bounce in here in a minute. What the heck? Oh, because I have all these windows open. Examples of unfulfilled niches. What I'm going to start doing, because one of the things that happens during the live streams, and I'll let you know, is the topic could be one thing because it's starting a marketing company and launching products like Nike. That's the topic. But during the live stream, we started to go in all these divergent areas, which actually hurt my channel. So I'm going to stop doing that. So that's it. So if you want to be part of How to Speak Companies webinar, there's 2 right now. There'll possibly be a 3rd. And the beta pricing is $99. That's it. I'm going to give you what you need to effectively talk to companies as soon as next week, if you already have some of the things that you need. All right, so be sure to grab that. It's directly under the video. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment after this live stream renders. All right, so I will catch you guys later. You have a good day, and I am out.